Having examined the aggregate of form, we now turn our attention to the second of the five aggregates, feeling. This aggregate is so close to our everyday experience that we rarely notice it. Every moment of our lives contains feelings. From the instant we wake in the morning until we fall asleep at night, feelings arise and pass away continuously. They influence our decisions, shape our moods, and often determine how we respond to the world around us. Yet most people spend their entire lives reacting to feelings without ever truly understanding them. The Heart Sutra encourages us to look beneath the surface of experience. Rather than simply accepting our reactions as natural or inevitable, it invites us to investigate how suffering arises. One of the most important discoveries made by the Buddha was that feelings often serve as the bridge between experience and attachment. When this bridge is not understood, suffering follows. When it is understood clearly, wisdom and freedom begin to emerge. To appreciate this teaching, we must first understand what Buddhism means by feeling. In everyday language, people often use the word feeling to describe emotions such as happiness, sadness, excitement, or anger. In Buddhist teaching, however, feeling refers to something more fundamental. It is the immediate tone that accompanies every experience. Whenever the eye sees a form, the ear hears a sound, the nose smells an odor, the tongue tastes a flavor, the body encounters a sensation, or the mind encounters a thought, a feeling immediately arises. That feeling is either pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. This process happens so rapidly that most people never notice it. We believe we are responding directly to objects and situations, but in reality, we are often responding to the feelings those experiences generate. Understanding this hidden process is essential because it reveals how attachment, aversion, and suffering are created. Imagine that someone offers you your favorite meal. Before you begin thinking about it, before memories arise, before desire develops, there is first a pleasant feeling. The tongue encounters a flavor, and a pleasant sensation appears. Almost immediately, the mind wants more. Now imagine touching a hot surface. Before any complex thought occurs, an unpleasant feeling arises. Instantly, the body withdraws. The unpleasant feeling creates an impulse to avoid or escape. The same process occurs with neutral feelings. Perhaps you hear the hum of an air conditioner in the background. Since the sound is neither particularly pleasant nor unpleasant, the mind largely ignores it. Yet even this neutral feeling influences experience by encouraging indifference or lack of awareness. These simple examples demonstrate how feelings act as a crossroads. Pleasant feelings often lead toward craving. Unpleasant feelings often lead toward aversion. Neutral feelings often lead toward ignorance or inattention. This pattern operates countless times each day. The Buddha understood that if this process remains unconscious, we become prisoners of our habits. We spend our lives chasing what feels pleasant, avoiding what feels unpleasant, and ignoring what appears neutral. Such a life becomes a cycle of endless dissatisfaction because feelings are constantly changing. Most people assume that pleasant feelings are entirely beneficial, yet the Buddha encouraged us to examine them carefully. Consider receiving praise from others. The words create a pleasant feeling. There is warmth, satisfaction, and enjoyment. None of this is inherently problematic. The difficulty begins when the mind clings to the pleasant feeling and wants it to continue indefinitely. Soon, thoughts arise. I hope they continue to admire me. I want everyone to think this way about me. What if I lose their approval? Notice what has happened. A simple, pleasant feeling has become the seed of attachment. The mind has moved from enjoyment to dependence. The same pattern appears in countless areas of life. Wealth, relationships, success, comfort, entertainment, recognition, and sensory pleasures all generate pleasant feelings. Yet because these experiences are impermanent, they inevitably change. When they disappear, the attachment connected to them produces disappointment. Imagine holding a beautiful snowflake in your hand. The more tightly you try to grasp it, the faster it melts. Pleasant experiences are similar. They are beautiful when appreciated with awareness, but suffering begins when we try to possess them permanently. This does not mean we should reject pleasant experiences. Buddhism is not teaching that happiness is wrong. Rather, it teaches us to enjoy pleasant feelings without becoming enslaved by them. we can appreciate them while understanding that they will eventually pass away. If pleasant feelings tend to create craving, unpleasant feelings tend to create resistance. Consider a situation in which someone criticizes you. The words enter the ears and an unpleasant feeling arises. Almost immediately, the mind reacts. You may become angry. You may feel hurt. You may want to defend yourself. You may replay the conversation repeatedly. The original unpleasant feeling may have lasted only a moment, yet the reaction can continue for days or even years. The Buddha observed that much of human suffering comes not from pain itself, but from resistance to pain. Physical discomfort may be unavoidable, but mental resistance often adds an extra layer of suffering. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack during a long journey. The weight represents an unpleasant experience. Complaining about the weight, resenting the weight, and constantly wishing it were not there adds additional burdens. The original weight remains the same, but our relationship to it has become more painful. This insight does not mean we should seek suffering or ignore genuine problems. Rather, it encourages us to meet unpleasant feelings with awareness rather than immediate resistance. When we observe them carefully, we discover that they too arise, change, and disappear. The unpleasant feeling that seems overwhelming in one moment may be gone in the next. Like a passing storm, it appears powerful while present, yet it never remains forever. Among the three types of feelings, neutral feelings often receive the least attention, yet they play a profound role in shaping our lives. Most moments are neither intensely pleasant nor intensely unpleasant. Washing dishes, walking through a hallway, sitting at a traffic light, hearing ordinary sounds, or performing routine tasks often generate neutral feelings. Because these experiences do not strongly attract or repel us, we tend to overlook them. The mind becomes distracted, restless, or lost in daydreams. This lack of awareness can create a subtle form of suffering. We begin searching constantly for stimulation because ordinary moments seem uninteresting. A person waiting in line immediately reaches for a phone. Someone sitting quietly becomes uncomfortable with stillness. Moments of peace are overlooked because they do not generate strong sensations. Yet mindfulness reveals that neutral experiences contain extraordinary depth. A simple breath, a gentle breeze, the sound of rain, or the warmth of sunlight can become rich objects of contemplation when observed carefully. Neutral feelings teach us that awareness itself can be fulfilling. We do not need constant excitement to experience peace. One of the most important insights in Buddhist practice is recognizing that feelings do not belong to a permanent self. Many people unconsciously identify with their feelings. They say, "I am angry, I am sad, I am happy, I am anxious." The Buddha encouraged a different perspective. Rather than saying, "I am angry," we can observe that anger is present. Rather than, "I am sad," we can recognize that sadness has arisen. This subtle shift changes everything. When we identify completely with feelings, we become trapped within them. When we observe them as temporary experiences, space and freedom appear. A cloud passing through the sky does not become the sky itself. In the same way, a feeling passing through awareness does not define who we are. Feelings come and go. Some last seconds, others hours, and some days. Yet none remain permanently. If they were truly our essential self, they could never change. The fact that they arise and disappear reveals their impermanent nature. Meditation provides a laboratory for investigating feelings directly. As you sit quietly, various sensations emerge. A pleasant warmth may arise. An itch may create an unpleasant feeling. Periods of calm may feel neutral. The ordinary habit is to react immediately. We want more of the pleasant sensation. We want the itch to disappear. We become bored with neutral experiences. Meditation teaches another possibility. Instead of reacting, we observe. Instead of grasping, we remain present. Instead of resisting, we investigate. Gradually we discover that feelings are like waves on the surface of an ocean. They rise, crest, and dissolve naturally. The deeper awareness beneath them remains calm and stable. This realization weakens the automatic patterns of craving and aversion that fuel suffering. The Buddha taught that suffering is not caused simply by the presence of pleasant or unpleasant feelings. Suffering arises because of the way we relate to them. Pleasant feelings become suffering when we cling to them. Unpleasant feelings become suffering when we resist them. Neutral feelings become suffering when we remain unconscious of them. Wisdom transforms this relationship. Instead of being pushed and pulled by every sensation, we learn to observe with balance and clarity. The world remains the same. Pleasant experiences still occur. Painful experiences still occur. Neutral moments still occur. What changes is our relationship to them. We become less reactive and more responsive, less attached and more peaceful, less fearful and more free. The aggregate of feeling reveals one of the most important mechanisms behind human suffering. Every experience gives rise to a pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral feeling, and these feelings often shape our actions before we are even aware of them. By observing feelings carefully, we begin to see how craving, aversion, and ignorance emerge from our reactions. More importantly, we discover that feelings are impermanent phenomena rather than a permanent self. They arise due to causes and conditions, remain briefly, and pass away. As wisdom deepens, feelings no longer dominate our lives. We learn to experience pleasure without attachment, pain without resistance, and neutrality without ignorance. This balanced awareness becomes a foundation for deeper insight into the nature of reality. In the next lesson, we will examine the third aggregate, perception, and explore how the mind recognizes, labels, and interprets the world, often creating assumptions that shape our entire experience of life.